Well, howdy, folks, and greetings from Northwest Montana. It is the beginning of April 2026, and it's been a while since we put up any video. To say that we had an eventful winter season would be an understatement. Starting the second week of December 2025 and continuing till March, we had three separate major storm systems that came through the northwest corner of Montana. These were incredibly isolated events, some of which dumped up to 10 inches of rain in a 24-hour period in the narrow chute canyons that hug the side of the Bull Lake Valley. What you are seeing here is the bottom end of Ross Creek that dumps into the top end of Bull Lake. This is what comes out of the Ross Creek Cedars area. The cedars themselves are indefinitely closed, and the area has been massively destroyed. It will probably be years before the Forest Service opens up the Ross Creek Cedars scenic area again. The debris fields at this end of the lake are many, many feet thick. And the creek itself has actually rerouted itself over towards the highway. That's Highway 56 on the right. This is the south end of the lake, and that clean water that you see coming in there is the rediverted water from Ross Creek. Believe it or not, the lake actually has started to clean up a little bit, but it's going to be some time before we have a clean, clear Bull Lake again. This is headed back up the creek, just to give you a different view and perspective on things. This is the very bottom end of Ross Creek. And here you can see where this tiny little creek that became a giant wall of water literally just ripped away sides of the mountain. This is just one little short stretch. There are numerous different spots like this for miles going up towards the cedars and above. All of this sediment is now into Bull Lake and filtering its way down through Lake Creek, and it's gonna take a while. Mother Nature sure has a funny way of cleaning things up. Time to head north towards Troy, to Keeler and Lake Creek. This is Keeler Creek, just above where it intersects with Lake Creek. This is all critical bull trout habitat, and thankfully, I don't think it suffered the same fate as Ross Creek on the other end of Bull Lake. However, in a few moments here, you're going to see where the bridge and the intersection are basically gone. So that's me standing on the bridge. That wall of water had to be at least 10, 12 feet high in order to wash that thing away. The county's doing a pretty good job of getting things put back together, but I think it's going to be a while before that bridge is back in service. This is the bottom end of Keeler Creek, and in the background there you can just start to see Lake Creek. Here's a couple of different perspectives on it. This whole bottom area is nothing but a debris field now. You'll see here in a second where people are getting in there and cleaning up their property. So now we're coming up on the confluence of Keeler and Lake Creek. Upstream to the right are the lodge and cabins in Bull Lake. To the left, the Kootenai River and Troy. You can clearly see the off-colored, milky, I call it coffee creamer color that was all of Ross Creek that dumped in the side of mountains that came down into Bull Lake. And it's going to take a while for that to clear up. Hopefully in another couple of months, we've got a nice stream to fish again. The catch-22 here is, while we generally don't like to see sediment, there's a lot of nutrient coming down in this too. Rest assured that these fish have survived for millennia, and in a few months, everything should be back to normal. All the smaller streams in the area, other than this section of Lake Creek, are doing just fine. The Kootenai's also in great shape. But for Bull Lake and Lake Creek, it's going to be a bit. We'll keep everybody updated. So let's move on for a last stop right before we get to Troy. This is the last bridge on Lake Creek Road. Many of you have fished down here over the years, and hopefully you remember it a little bit. This just gives you a little idea of the power of the water when it gets rolling. This oxbow you see coming up here was just that, an oxbow. The channel on the right and the trees that are there, that didn't exist before December. I imagine those people in that home on the right-hand side there had some serious pucker factor going on. But the stream has rerouted itself. Who knows, maybe some fish will get trapped over in those side channels over there if we get enough water through it. But you can see the amount of debris that came down and filled everything up. I hope this gave a little insight to what we've been dealing with up here for the last few months. And hopefully, we've got some really cool new water to fish here in a couple of months, because there's new trees and cut banks and scoured out pools up and down Lake Creek. Rest assured that the rest of the water in the area, the Kootenai, the Yak, the Bull, all the little tributaries, everybody else is doing just fine. And in a few months, Mother Nature will have this back to normal. The lodge is fixed, the debris cleanup with all the trees that got knocked down on the property are about done, so we're ready for guests this year. Come and see us in Northwest Montana. We'd love to see you in 2026. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.